Hi everyone, my name is Lily and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while and I'm here to explain a little bit of what's been going on, why it's been 4 months since I've uploaded, what's happened in my life, how did the conventions go, what are you up to? I'm here to answer all those questions for you today. So, first things first, the last thing I uploaded was in November, so there was the holiday season, there was spending time with my boyfriend on his break, there was just trying to be a person and not a gremlin who lives in her bedroom. We did holiday things, you know, we spent a lot of time together. He goes on a shutdown every winter season, every like Christmas time of year. He goes on a 2-week shutdown, so I got to spend a lot of time with him, and that was really nice. And then there were both of the conventions, and one of them was really bad, one of them was really good, and I also lost a family member. And I've been trying my best to not be a sad lump of garbage. That is the summary of this video. If you're interested, you can stick around, have a chat with me, and I can tell you all about my life for the past 4 months. And if you're not interested, then you can just mute this and watch me draw the things that I am drawing in this video. So first things first, my holiday season was fun. It was fine. I got to spend some time with the people that I love the most. I got to spend some time with like my mom and Lucy, and it was just such a wonderful time. I love the holidays. Like, if anybody knows me in person, you know, like, I really just love the holidays. I'm not a Christian, but I do enjoy like giving people gifts and eating food and just being around the people that I love. And there's nothing more that I love than to just do those things. So I had a super duper fun time, and I kind of took a little bit of a break from art during that time. I can't make words happen. In addition to that, I was also kind of gearing up for the convention at the end of January, which was ChattyCon, which I'll talk about in just a moment. And just honestly, like, at the end of December, November, December was just actually a really good time for me. You know, winter's my favorite season of the year. I enjoy the things to be cold and dead and lifeless, just like me. And, so it was like a good time, you know, like I had fun, I got to see people that I love, and it was a grand old time. In January, I knew there was a convention. I had 2 conventions this year. I had one at the end of January, one at the end of February. There's like 3 weeks in between them. So the one at the end of January was called ChattyCon, and it was my first convention ever, like, for vending. I mean, I had been to conventions before, but, you know, this was my first time vending, and that was an experience, and not necessarily a good experience. Start off, I had no idea what I was doing. I was flying by the seat of my skirt, as it were, and just trying to do the best with what I had. I spent a lot of time trying to make sure I was over-prepared, and then when I actually got there, I felt so under-prepared. It was ridiculous. But the first convention, ChattyCon, was... we rented a hotel. Well, we got a hotel room because we wanted the whole experience. We didn't want to have to cart stuff back and forth, you know, a town over, being exhausted from being there all day. And there was only like 300 people there, and I didn't know when I applied and paid and everything that this was a sci-fi convention. This wasn't comic books, anime, games, nerds stuff. This was Star Trek and Star Wars and Doctor Who, and not my audience, not my people at all. I didn't know this. So I felt like such an idiot. Like, I stood out so much, having all this anime art and all this colorful, bright bullshit, and nobody else did. And people just didn't care. Honestly, and that hurt. Dude, my self-esteem took so much of a beating from this. Like, nobody would stop by, nobody would engage with me, nobody would talk to me. I only made like 4 sales out of the whole weekend. I didn't make the money for my table back. It was just such a bad experience. Even like, I thought, even if I don't make any sales, then maybe I can go to a panel or like just try to have a good time or enjoy my stay at the hotel, maybe get some good food. Yeah, none of that happened. Even staying at our hotel, like, our car got hit in the parking garage. I didn't make my money back. We wasted an entire night at the hotel that we pre-ordered. Like, it was just such a bad time and such a waste of time. Like, I feel so stupid that I ever decided that I wanted to go to that one. And it was just such a hit to my self-esteem that nobody would even talk to me. Like, I got into this really deep depression from it for like a week and a half, just feeling so sorry for myself and having such a pity party. And it was just hard to feel like that. Like, oh, I've worked so hard for the last year and a half. I've put so much of my life and my soul into this, and nobody cares. And it's not even good enough to warrant a passing glance. That felt bad. So I had to try to psych myself back up out of that. And then my grandmother died. And that sucked. Now, let me talk about this a little bit, because if I don't, then it will be a very big injustice to both me and her and my mother and just everything that I've gone through in the last couple of months. So our car got hit. The convention was terrible. We lost money. We lost so much more money than we paid, than I made. And then my grandmother dies. And this is something that we knew was gonna happen. It wasn't a shocking thing. She had Alzheimer's. She had late stage Alzheimer's. She'd been diagnosed years and years and years ago. She'd been in a nursing home for so long. Like, it wasn't a big surprise. But what sucked the most was she held on for like 10 days without any food, any water, any assistance, anything like that. She held on for so long. It was incredibly difficult to watch, to try to be strong and be there for my mom. And it was just hard to go through that. And I loved my grandmother so much. Like, she helped raise me. She was always poor. You know, like, I grew up poor. Like, my family's poor. But even through all that, she still gave what she could, you know. I mean, there were some days where I had to eat mayonnaise sandwiches for lunch, but it didn't matter because it was just so nice to be with her. Now, before I continue, I do want to talk about this drawing a little bit. You'll see me have a real big struggle with the line art here with the face. I redrew this face so many times. I got so frustrated, I eventually stopped recording. I spent the next 2 days working on it, and you'll see it cut really quickly here in just a second. To the new one that I had drawn, because I didn't actually intend on finishing it. Day 2, I was like, man, this face keeps looking so weird to me. I can't figure it out. And I finally got it to look the way I wanted it to. And then I started recording again because I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll finish the line art and see where it goes. Ended up being one of my favorite pieces. Go figure. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that if it'll cut suddenly and pretty jarringly, just because I'd spent so much time off camera trying to figure out how I want the face to look. Anyway, back to my story. So we knew it was happening. We knew she'd had Alzheimer's for a long time, and it wasn't a shock when she died. I mean, it sucked to watch her go through that. She was in like a home that was like an hour and a half away in one direction, so having to drive that every single day, twice a day with my mom, y'all, it was exhausting. And then she died, and she died. Now, we ended up donating her body to Alzheimer's research. We couldn't afford to have a full funeral or anything. We donated her body to Alzheimer's research. We had a little memorial, just mostly for the rest of her family, her sister, our cousins, and, you know, some family that she had known. And like with any loss, it's hard. Especially when you're close to the person, which I was before she'd gotten late stage Alzheimer's and couldn't remember me. But it kind of made me realize that there's so many people that I loved that I couldn't properly mourn. If you know anything about me, if you know anything about my life over the past couple of years, you'll know that I've lost a lot of people. My cousin died of alcohol poisoning. My grandfather died of pneumonia. My grandmother had colon cancer. My other grandmother, I don't know what happened. I say my other, she was my aunt, but she was like a grandmother. And she'd passed away in a nursing home. It was just so much, and it all happened within the span of a year. And there are certain people that I just didn't get the chance to mourn properly. And her passing made me realize that. And that I dealt with for a little while, just trying to get through it, just trying to kind of had a like mourning a lot of people at once kind of situation. It was just very, very strange. And in addition to her dying and having to do all of that, the next convention was at the end of February. So I had to do that. I had to restock. I had to get new things. I had to do so much. I don't want to go into it really, everything that I had to go into, because like I got new sleeves, put all the prints in. Like, I printed more stickers, I made some more buttons. Like, it's just mundane ass shit, you know? And the whole time all this is going on, I'm also doing Etsy orders. And I didn't have time to make YouTube videos. Because it's a lot, you guys. And I wanted to kind of vlog the experience of the conventions, but y'all, that first one was so bad that I didn't even want to stay all of Saturday. I wanted to leave early on Saturday because it was just so bad for me. But anyway, so the next one we do is Connuga. And when I say that Connuga was 3,000% better than Chatticon, I'm not exaggerating. In literally every aspect, Connuga was better. First of all, it was my target audience, a gaming anime convention, general nerdetry convention. So there was more people there who were like-minded, who watched anime, you know. There was also, let's see, at the first one there was like maybe 300 people. At this one there was well over 1,000. And I know by convention standards that's still like small, but it was marginally better. Just so much more people. And like that was even, like it was one of the rainiest times of the year for us. Like we had more rain in that weekend than we'd had ever on recorded history. Like it was record breaking, like I'm not even kidding. And there were still that many people there. So that was super duper awesome. There was a bunch of other artists there that I got to talk to and communicate with and just share stuff with and do art trades with, and that was awesome, and it was just such a good experience. I made more sales on Friday than I did on Saturday, which was weird, and I hardly made any on Sunday, and I barely made the cost of the table back. However, I had such a good time networking and such a good time meeting everyone that it made up for it. It was the first convention that I really actually made any money at. My second convention ever, of course. But it was good. I mean, it was good. Also, the food trucks were great. The real bad thing, I guess, that happened is Lucy got really, really sick on Friday. It was just a combination of, like, lack of sleep. Like, okay, because we're third shifters. He works a third shift job at a factory. Volkswagen's factory. And he got really, really sick because we had to flip our schedule in, like, one day and then be there the next day and then flip our schedule again on Sunday to night shift again. So I think he was just exhausted and just hadn't been really eating properly and he got sick, and I had to call in backup to come help me out that day while he went and took a nap in the car. Thank you so much, my best boy Brandon, for being there. I had no one else I could turn to, no one else who would help me out, and he really came through for me, which I really super duper appreciate. And there were other artists there, and there weren't at Chatticon. There was, like, the only other artists at Chatticon were people who did, like, landscapes, traditional painting, and then, like, there was this one girl who only drew cats. It was weird. But at least at Con Nuga, there were people like me who, like, drew anime, were really into the same things, and it was just so super duper nice to meet with these people and to communicate and to make some friends. That was really awesome. I doubt any of them are watching this video, but if you did come and chat with me, thank you so much. You really made one of my first conventions experiences very good, and I will never forget it. However, I will be back next year for sure. I'm not going to Chatticon ever again. That was such a bust. But Con Nuga, absolutely. Even if I don't make my money back, it was still so much fun to be there. And I go every year anyway as an attendee, so being able to go as someone who, like, also can make my money back is super nice. I think next year will be a lot better if it doesn't rain like it was. But let's see. So that was the conventions. That was my grandmother dying. I've just been in a kind of depression state, like in a depressive episode for the last couple of weeks. I've not really been able to drag myself out of it too much until recently. I started working out. I started cleaning more. I started trying to just do little self-care things just to try to help me get out of it, which is why you haven't seen me being active. In addition, I also have chronic illness, which I've talked a little bit about. I've got PCOS, and sometimes that just is very incredibly painful, and sometimes I can't do anything because it's so painful, and I just have to, like, lay down and just try not to lose my mind while I'm in so much pain. It's just been hard. I feel like my life is just a series of, like, one tragedy after the next, and all I can do is kind of try to keep myself together as I watch all these bad things happen around me. But, you know, we're getting there. Things are looking up slowly and surely. I mean, if I compare where I am today to where I was 2 years ago, then it's a big marginal improvement. So I just really miss my family, and I really miss the people that they were, and, like, spending time with them, and just, I don't know. It's been rough. but I've been trying to get out of it. I've been really, really trying. So that brings me to this YouTube video. I'm trying to get my shits back together, and part of that is being consistent on social media again, and at least letting the 18 of you guys know what's been up for the last couple of months. And I hope to return to doing YouTube videos soon. I've only drawn one thing after this, Sailor Moon, and I didn't record it, and I wish I would have, but I didn't. It was just a Lars from Steven Universe drawing. But I hope to record more. I hope to draw more. I wanted to do like a sort of vlog style at the conventions, but like I just didn't feel up to it. We'll see how this next year goes. I have to sit down and make some really solid goals. And yeah, speaking of solid goals, would you guys like to know what I have planned for the future? If you like my art at all, I think you should. So let's talk a little bit about Etsy. Now, Etsy has been something I've been doing in the background for a while now, and I have stickers, I have buttons and prints up there. If you guys are interested, definitely go check it out. You can score some cool stuff from me. I upload new stuff pretty regularly. And I'm also still in the just starting out phase. I'm trying to figure out like my brand, trying to figure out what all I want to include, and I'm getting there. But yes, I do have stuff listed. I'm always working on new things for it. So I hope you guys can look forward to that. It'll be linked below. And I'm hoping to push Etsy a little bit more. I closed down my Patreon recently. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but it was just so much in the middle of everything else. I couldn't keep up with it. But I closed that down, and I've been focusing more on Etsy, and I'm going to try to continue to grow on Etsy as much as possible. I think it's a very good thing for me to do currently. So if you guys want to support me, please check it out. I do have things that are relatively cheap, and shipping on Etsy is really cheap as well. So if you've ever wanted a print or anything from me, it's definitely the time to go check that out. And like I said, I'll be working on new stuff soon, and I'm hoping to get a proper business setup in my bedroom. Like an actual big desk to put all my stuff on, because like I have a Cricut, I have a printer, I have to package things, and I'm hoping to have a full station I can do that on soon. So maybe I can do like studio vlogs or something like that. If you guys are interested in it, my lighting camera situation is non-existent, but maybe we can make do with what I've got. I don't know, we'll see. It's something that I am interested in doing for sure, but so I'm hoping to grow that. As far as prints and illustrations go, I want to try to make at least one a month, which is a far cry from the 4 month I was trying to do. But I think in addition to also doing little things on Etsy, it's about as much as I can manage. I don't know if I want to do a webcomic still. It's still something that I have wanted to do for a long time. It's still something that I want to do now, but I don't know how realistic of a goal it is currently. I think I'm going to really just focus on pushing Etsy and pushing, online stores a lot more. There's a lot of ideas I have. There's a lot of things I want to make, and a lot of things that I hope you guys can look forward to. But honestly, other than just trying to be consistent again, that's about all I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. I know it's a little bit longer, but I honestly cut it down by about half. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for listening. And if you have any questions, if you want to check me out on social media, you can. I'll put everything in the description below. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. I hope you guys like these drawings, and I hope you guys will go check out my stuff. And I hope I can also come back to YouTube soon, like consistently. I can't make any promises right now, but hopefully. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you lovelies in the next one.